This is dictation at 120 words a minute. Can you testify to his actions on that day? What happened after the doctor testified? I want a copy of Mr. Baker's testimony. The witnesses were excluded from court. Have you been witnessing the changes? As he identifies items, she checks the list. Is he identifying the defendant? The man was asked for his identification. We need new landscaping, etc. Tell me about the latest trip, etc. The preacher was well educated. He will probably promote her now. The Scottish kilt was red plaid. The plastic knives were too dull. When did you buy your new automobile? His automobile was damaged in the accident. The railroad car came loose. He was working on the railroad when the accident happened. The automobiles were shipped by railroad. He sued for damages. We had a problem with our rate sheets. They could not cover all the possible jobs. We were told what wages to offer for each of the kinds of jobs that we had listed. We were told that our department was to call the bosses and inform them if there were any big changes in the wage rates over the course of a year. Our real problem was in regard to the ship. That meant the wages we had to pay were already set by the unions, but they were not consistent with the other rates. It was all a big mess. Have you heard all of the evidence? All of the evidence was in writing. Did you look for evidences of habitation? Do you think it was evident he would win? Evidently, the coach called for that play. The photograph was old and blurred. The new album holds 100 photographs. They were all photographed at the scene. I took a class in commercial photography. The fad has spread all over the country. Both countries wanted to save water. The trip encompassed many countries. Were you in that bar at any time? May we arrive at the play at any time? Were you at the scene at that time? At that time I was still married. Were you there at the time of the arrest? At the time we were all in the car. Are you feeling well at the present time? At the present time I am unemployed. Are you prepared to testify at this time? Do you have a valid permit at this time? One cannot insure against every possibility. Will you insure my car? Do you have enough income? If your income is low, term insurance may actually be the answer. Did you actually have more income last year? He has an income from some insurance. Susan was a shrewd card player. The pair had shriveled up. I worked on a shrimp boat last summer. The soaking made her skin shrivel. Did you buy a new shrub for the hedge? The whistle was short and shrill. There were Shriners in the parade. He gave the project short shrift. I was assigned to the accident in question on March 17. When I got to the place where it had happened, I noticed skid marks. I noticed that the gouge marks were approximately 315 feet away from the curb and at the curb itself. They appeared to be very fresh, and they were over toward the right-hand side of the street. In other words, it would be in the area that would be traveled by traffic that was going west. It is my opinion that these gouge marks were caused by areas where the vehicle struck the surface of the roadway and then hit the curb. The top of the vehicle was totally demolished. The final impact, I believe, was in the area of about 100 feet from the base of the cliff. The car was going at a very high rate of speed. As I recall, the vehicle did not touch the ground or dirt area or make any tire prints within that area. It is my opinion that the excessive speed was the primary cause of this accident and the resulting damages. For example, don't go in the deep water. I want to see, for example, what was sent. The markup is in addition to that price. For instance, do you want to read a book? Act in accordance with the rules. She, in other words, broke the law. Use an umbrella in order to stay dry. They took a trip down the Amazon. That pie has far too many calories. The judge said it was a frivolous case. We need to circulate the information. The area is not very well populated yet. I hope that you can mollify your father. I don't like that dark color at all. The colors blend well with the design. Where is Tim's coloring book? I don't feel as if I belong anywhere. It belongs to another class entirely. The parking is all below ground. I often pick out the wrong color. It rains more often in the south. He misses school oftener than ever. She is very hard to understand at times. The results of the race are not final. I will automatically turn it off. The car went under the overpass. We know that he controlled the company. We had a tacit understanding. She felt as if she were under a cloud. Bad planning resulted in failure. He was reluctant to take the stand. Put your emphasis on accuracy. She wrote the entire sentence correctly. They were acting in an irrational manner. They found the list was in numerical order. It was so humid that it was oppressive. Exclude him from the conversation. His performance showed improvement. The shape of the object was cylindrical. They delivered the uranium to the lab. The distinction was clear. The sale item caught her attention. The store closed for inventory. The subsidy was substantial. The kidnapper made many demands. The conversation was repeated at lunch. The item made a conversational opening. The pedestrian has the right of way. He watched the pedestrians walk by. There weren't any crosswalks there. Are they putting in new sidewalks yet? The passenger gate was closed. I would prefer being a passenger. Where did you park your vehicle? Did the vehicle pass you on the curve? The road is closed to vehicular traffic. Vehicular traffic is prohibited there. Can you wring an answer out of him? Mary used the whole sheet of wrapping paper to wrap the present. Can you hear the chirp of the baby wren? Eat wholesome food and get lots of exercise. Buy some wrapping paper today. Why did you buy that old wreck? There is a wren outside my window. Place the sign above the hall door. The membership drive was successful. I don't know what his purpose is. We have required membership for years. What was your purpose in requiring the members to pay dues in March? Her name is above mine on the placard. Members are required to sign in. The school requires uniforms. You must be a member to vote. I didn't pass the sobriety test, but I didn't try too hard to pass it because I thought that by acting like I was drunker than I was, it would make me not responsible for what had happened. I know now that that was really dumb thing to think at the time, but something went through my head telling me to act like I was really drunk. I was talking with Officer Rose and I told him I wanted to cooperate because I was really sorry for what happened. Officer Rose was very friendly. He tried to calm me down, and I told him where I had been drinking. I told him everything that happened. Well, actually, he didn't do anything to calm me down, but he wasn't brutal to me or anything. He handcuffed me and put me in the front seat, which isn't normal. Usually they throw you in the back seat, I think. It wasn't that he was being on my side. After all, he was taking me to jail, but I think he appreciated my cooperation. They took my cell phone and my wallet and everything and made me sign a paper that listed them all.